So, growing up or just going through life in general, I think we all have certain situations that really can push our buttons and annoy us or irritate us or make us angry. And it's almost as if the people around us can sense exactly which button to push to really annoy you. And maybe it could be family members, or it might be a school teacher or something, but they know exactly what to say and how to say it that to get a reaction. And that can be annoying. And it reminds me of when I was a kid in school, and somebody would come and they kind of point at your shirt, and then you look down and they flick your face, and it's this annoying little thing that people can do. And I certainly would get annoyed every time somebody would do that to me, and it was amazing how often I could be tricked with that. And eventually I might get to the point where when somebody went to do it, I didn't take the bait anymore. I was able to realize, okay, they're going to flick they're going to flick me, and I might just move their hand, and like that no longer, they weren't able to trick me. And I might still be annoyed for a while, but after a while they get bored when they know that it doesn't kind of push the button anymore. And we certainly can't do this with the people around us. We can't train them to not hit our buttons or say the thing that is going to annoy us. There's just too many combinations to handle. However, there is kind of an interesting exercise or meditation that you can do around this that I found to be really, really powerful, which is that if there's anything that somebody can do that disturbs you on a regular basis, besides having a conversation with them and trying to sort out, I'm not doing that. But let's assume that somebody knows just the choice words to irritate you or get you upset. One thing is, if you're getting upset, it happens in your body somewhere. Like there's upset is a feeling, or angry is a feeling. So the meditation is to go back in your experience and kind of replay whatever is happening that's irritating you, and then noticing the feeling arising. And you may need to do this a half dozen times to slow it down and to just notice, okay, what's the feeling that's coming up? And you may want to give it a name, although it's not necessarily important, but notice the feeling and then notice where is it coming up in your body, and slow it down and see the degree to which you can just sit and be with it. And there's a really amazing thing with our nervous system that if we stay with any sensation for a certain period of time, it's almost impossible for it to stay the same in our nervous system. And I wish I could find this article. There was an article about why this happens. In fact, they've done experiments where they keep your eyes, somehow they keep your eyes still. And if you're looking at something like your finger and your eyes don't move, like there's a normal fluctuation in your eyes, but in this experiment, they hold your eyes steady. And then if you stare at one point, your finger perceptually will disappear. It's like the cones that are seeing the vision, all of a sudden, it's as if they get numb to it and it's not there anymore. And in the same way, if you stay with a feeling very long, it's as if you can disappear the feeling, or certainly it will transform. Now, sometimes you may need to intensify it a bit before it disappears. But really, if you can just sort of get okay with it, then it's like the person flicking your face. At a certain point, it's like, okay, this isn't. I'm not taking the bait anymore. I'm not getting irritated anymore. It's like, go ahead and flick away. And the way we do this is by us staying with the feeling long enough. You can do it for a few minutes a day, and eventually that feeling, it's like your system is just sort of had it. It's kind of like if you heard the same joke every day, it might be funny for a couple of days, but after a while, a joke just stops being funny, because part of the joke is the surprise and the humor. And I think things like irritation or anger can happen that way, unless we're kind of working ourselves up again and again. So this is sort of taking the opposite approach of just letting yourself feel it, relax into it, make space around it, and really sit with it for a while until it's not a big deal anymore. It's like, okay, that's anger, that's annoyance, that's irritation, that's boredom, that's sadness, whatever the feeling is. So again, to sort of recap the steps, anything that's happening in the world that you believe is somehow causing a reaction, notice whatever the trigger is, and then notice the feeling. That, like, if you didn't have the feeling, you wouldn't notice, there wouldn't be a reaction. So notice what's the feeling. You can name it if you like, and then locate it in your body, and then really just be present to it. Feel it. I like to say, become a connoisseur of it. Really taste it. Is it intense? Does it pulsate? Does it start somewhere and move? But just be with it again and again and again until, like, it's just not there anymore. I mentioned that, something that's funny, if you hear the same joke, you sort of get numb to it after a while. Same thing with scary movies. The first couple times you watch the same scary movie, it may continue to scare you. But if that was your job, if your job was watching that movie, after a couple of days, you'd just be bored with that movie. And that's a useful use of the resource of boredom. Like getting bored with being angry, getting bored with irritation, and just really staying with the feeling until it doesn't sort of freak out your nervous system anymore. And then it's amazing. People can come up and they can sort of come at you with all their firepower, and it's like you don't get freaked out anymore. And what I do now is, if something, certainly things will catch us off guard, we'll get irritated, we'll get annoyed. I like to just make a mental note, and then later check back in and do this exercise until it's just until nobody can sort of hook you again. And that's kind of my goal is, it's perfectly natural to get irritated from time to time, to get angry from time to time. Those are fine. But if somebody's able to do that with great consistency and kind of have a say in how your day is, for me, that's too much. So I want to get to the point where nobody can sort of trigger me that easily. I want to be able to sort of go with it. It's a very Tai Chi approach. Just really sit with the feeling and say, yeah, come on, bring it on. Let's see what I can learn from this. So I encourage you to try that. It's a little counterintuitive. It's not often that we just sort of intentionally go into tricky feelings, but I think it will really blow your mind the minute the first time you sort of get one of these unpleasant states to dissipate. It's truly mind-blowing. It's like, wow, that thing that just a few moments ago really bothered me, it just doesn't bother me anymore. So I invite you to enjoy that.